Welcome back to another DPS analytic video. This is going to be the 5th week of the Scarlet Enclave for Season of Discovery. Before we get into the logs, I want to mention that there are a couple of polls going on right now. Within 2 to 3 weeks from now, these should be live if they pass. Essentially, all of them are to do with excluding ad damage, so on Balanazar, excluding the damage on the Terrors in the Infernals. Also, there's an option to add downtime during Phase 2. Beatrix only counting the boss damage, excluding the damage of the Lightforge Whelps on Solastraza, excluding the damage of the ads on Mason, and then excluding the ads on Calderon. For now, we will just be looking at boss damage like this, but this is kind of a rough estimate, so 95th percentile, you got your Warrior and your Ret Pally super far up there, but if we change this to just looking at single target, you suddenly have a totally different log to look at. Your Ret Pally and Fury Warrior move down a couple spots, and classes like your Shadow Priest and Fire Mage move up a couple spots in comparison to what we looked at here. Looking at all percentiles first, we have the Sub Rogue Balanced Druid well ahead of the pack. Right behind that is the LA Shaman, Shadow Priest, and then the Affliction Lock. Following all of these classes, everything is very close to each other. The only big drop off is sort of the specs that no one really plays, like the BM Hunter and the Combat Rogue. Next, going on to max percentile, Fury Warrior, Ret Pally, Balanced Druid, Marksman Hunter, and then the Affliction Lock, Fire Mage, Shadow Priest. And just like previous weeks, we've seen the Fury Warrior and Ret Pally just do incredibly well, considering how much cleave there is on multiple fights. If we look at just boss damage though, still very competitive, even though they're just going to be doing single target. But now you suddenly have your Fire Mage and Shadow Priest move up in the rankings. If you ask me, everything looks a little bit more competitive in this metric. Going to 95th percentile, and let's change this back to damage. Balanced Druid, Sub Rogue, LA Shaman, and then the Ret Pally. And we'll do some of this too, because some people wanted to see what the lower percentiles look like. Looking at these lower percentiles, all you're going to see change is like the top percentile is just more obvious. Sub Rogue, Balanced Druid, and LA Shaman. We go up to 95th percentile. It's exactly the same 3 classes, but the Ret Pally moves up a couple spots. But yeah, that's essentially it. Going over each boss fight specifically and picking out the top DPS. Fury Warrior just miles ahead. If we're to look at just single target, that completely changes. Beatrix, for example, Ret Pally, Assassination Rogue, and then the Fury Warrior. Going back to just damage on ads, Ret Pally, Fire Mage, and Fury Warrior. Again, Ret Pally and Fury Warrior just super far ahead when looking at all damage combined. We've gone to Solastraza. Fury Warrior, again, just going to be the trend for the rest of this video. Same for the Ret Pally. Looking at just pure single target though, it looks a little bit more competitive. You don't have this huge gap of disparity like you're seeing here. In my opinion, I think maybe excluding the ad damage is a good thing. Maybe the ad damage should be capped to a certain amount to where it still counts, but you're not excessively cleaving it to where it's contributing to a majority of your parse. We've gone to Mason. Same thing again. Balanced Druid, Marksman Hunter following those 2 classes. Looking at single target only. Marksman Hunter, Balance, Ret, Fire Mage, and then the Shadow Priest. A lot more competitive again. Beastmaster, going to be the same thing since there are no ads on this fight. Fury Warrior, going to be just the king on this fight. We've gone to Reborn Council. Another fight where it's just single target damage. No ads to really cleave off of. Balanced Druid, Ret Pally, Destro Lock, Affliction Lock, Shadow Priest, Feral Druid, and then the Fire Mage. Next we have Lily and Voss, a pure single target fight. Pretty even across the board, only by a couple hundred DPS. The only big jump is right here at the end by around 200 DPS, but still very even across the board when looking at just a single target fight like this. And then lastly, looking at Calderon, we have the Fury Warrior, Ret Pally, and then the Affliction Lock. Now looking at pure single target, Destro Lock, Assassination, Ret Pally, Balanced Druid, and then the Sub Rogue. So again, way more competitive in my opinion. That's pretty much it for this week. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. And as always, I will see you in the next video.